Bleeding purple and gold. From the heart of Los Angeles, this is the LakersNation.com podcast with your host, Trevor Lane.
Welcome to the show. As always, we're powered by CLNS Media and LakersNation.com. And boy, do we have some breaking news today. Kawhi Leonard does not want to remain a San Antonio Spur. He wants to come home to Los Angeles. Brought in John Redinger of Techno Buffalo to help talk about all the details. John, this is a heck of a day.
Trevor Lane, what a day. What a day. I've been sitting here working the trade machine all afternoon to figure out how the Lakers can pull this off and still have cap space to go after two more.
That's the trick here. Can they actually make a move that allows them to still bring in, say, Paul George and LeBron James? Because, I mean, that would be the ultimate for the Lakers, is to have all three of those guys. But it would be really tricky to actually pull something like that off.
Really tricky. And first, it's shocking that Kawhi's willing to forego the Supermax, that he feels betrayed by what's admittedly probably one of the classiest organizations in sports, in the Spurs, and has identified the Lakers as his preferred destination. What gets me super worried, though, is like who the OKC is going to be. You know, last year with Paul George. And I'm generally worried about the Kings. I'm like legit worried about the Kings doing something very Kingish and offering the number 2 pick, Shumpert, Kufus, Temple, and Jackson, and taking on Leonard and Pau Gasol's $16 million left on the salary.
Yeah, I could see them doing something like that as well. And you know what? I mean, Kawhi has a little bit of leverage here, and this is what I've been saying, is that Kawhi, if he goes to all of these teams and want to trade for him, say he goes to the Kings and he says, hey, you guys can trade for me. He can't do anything to stop that, but I'm not going to re-sign with you in 2019, next summer when I'm a free agent. That would ideally prohibit a team like the Kings from offering up, say, the second pick, but it's the Kings, so you never know.
I know.
That's that wild card.
If it was any other organization, you'd be like, it's the Kings. I mean, Vlade is running that show with, Vivek Radwa. They would pull a trigger, I think, even without it, but at least it's, I mean, no knock to the city of Sacramento. It's not Los Angeles, and they don't have Russell Westbrook there and Carmelo Anthony.
Right. But they do want a star. And the other teams that we're hearing now are the Clippers as well, that the Clippers would be willing to put out a package for Kawhi Leonard, and that they are one of his destiny as long as he's in Los Angeles. So that's got to be a little bit scary. And here's the thing. I mean, the Celtics name got thrown out there too. They're willing to throw in a package. We know they tried to trade for him at the deadline. The Knicks I've seen as well. I mean, the more names you add to this, the lower the Lakers leverage gets and the higher the Spurs leverage gets. The more offers they have on the table, the more they can play them off each other. So that's when the price is going to start going up.
So for the Lakers, would you think a package of, and I'm just, obviously Luol Deng has to be involved, Kuzma, and then either Lonzo and Ingram gets that deal done, and then throw in the 25 pick maybe in there?
So you're talking about Kuzma, Lonzo, Ingram, and Deng, all four of those?
No, one of them. So probably Kuzma and either Lonzo or Ingram.
Oh, gotcha.
And Deng. Do you think San Antonio pulls the trigger on that? And would Popovich even trade him to the Lakers?
See, I think that second part of that is actually the first hurdle they have to clear is, will Popovich even sign off on trading him to the Lakers? I've heard that maybe he won't. That he may just not want to create another super team in the West, and he may flat out not trade him to the Lakers. And that makes me think back to last summer with Paul George. Paul George says, I want to go to the Lakers. He told other teams he wouldn't re-sign. He did the whole spiel, and it didn't matter. Indiana was determined not to give him what he wanted and send him to the Lakers, so they shipped him out to OKC instead. So that we could see that play out here. We could see Popovich say, no, I don't want another super team in the West. I don't want to see the Lakers get Kawhi and LeBron and Paul George, so we're just not going to trade with them. So we could see that happen. As far as that trade package goes, though, if the Spurs are going to take on Deng, it's going to cost the Lakers a lot, but it's just about the only way to make it work where the Lakers are still able to go after LeBron and Paul George, unless you're putting in, Lonzo, Ingram, Kuzma. Even then, the salaries aren't going to work out because the Lakers are right on the edge of having enough for two max. So really, Deng would have to be part of the deal in some fashion.
Yeah, it would. Obviously, would have to be to get rid of that contract. But Deng's contract's only 1 year away from being really appealing to a lot of teams.
as an expiring,
there's as an expiring contract. There's that side of it as well. I've been, as a Laker fan for the past 5 years, and I'm sure you feel the same way. It's been a horrible experience. I mean, our biggest free agent signings were not overwhelming. So I'm trying not to get excited about any of this. I'm preparing for nothing to happen.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, last year we heard Paul George was coming, and then he didn't. So
yeah. What could the Clippers offer? I mean, what could the Clippers possibly offer?
That's just it.
Better than the Lakers' core.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what San Antonio wants. If they want young players and picks and stuff like that, I think the Lakers easily have the Clippers beat there. But, let's say the Clippers throw in an offer that includes like Tobias Harris, who's a pretty good youngish player. I believe he's about 25. And Tobias Harris, I like him a lot. So maybe they could toss him into the mix. They've got a few other pieces throw in. I mean, they do have 2 picks. They have the 12th pick, I believe, and the 13th pick in this year's draft. So you can throw in a couple of picks. That's the other thing that we need to mention here is that timing is going to be crucial for this. Because if this happens before the draft, then the Spurs can go ahead and make those picks. Like if they make the trade with the Clippers, they can go ahead and pick the guys they would want at 12 and 13. Whereas if it's after the draft, suddenly they're just going off of whoever the Clippers selected, and they have to kind of hope those are the guys they wanted anyway.
Interesting. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Lakers can now trade their 2019 first-round pick, correct?
Yes, they can. And they can trade 2018 as well. They could trade both in theory. They would just have to wait until after the pick is made for 2018. So say draft night comes and they pick whoever, Kevin Huerter. Let's say he drops to them and they pick him at 25. After the pick is made and official, then they could ship him plus say the 2019 pick to San Antonio if that's what they wanted to do.
Interesting. Do you have a gut on how this is going to play out? If you were a betting man, where are you betting Kawhi Leonard suiting up for next year?
I'm going to say I think this is going to happen. I do. Just you look at everything that's been going on, the way the wind has been blowing. You've seen the Vegas odds shifting, right? You've seen where the Lakers are becoming a slight actual favorite to win an NBA championship next year, and a favorite. They are the favorite to land LeBron James. Just everything is pointing this direction. And then that Jeannie Buss tweet, John. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, oh man, did I see that tweet? I read that tweet about 30 times.
Yes. That tweet, it said, what did it say? Do not ever underestimate. And then ... That's all I'm going to say. And she said that we know she was in New York. Kawhi Leonard has been recovering in New York. LeBron James happened to be in New York when she tweeted that. So, I mean, Jeannie Buss doesn't talk Lakers basketball much at all on Twitter. She pretty much avoids it.
Yeah.
She talks about everything else. But still, I mean, just something so cryptic like that from her, it just feels like there's something that's been going on. The Lakers have been so dead set on trying to make sure they have enough cap space for 2 max free agents. They've been doing everything they can to clear that. It feels like they've known something is coming. And so at this point, I'm optimistic that it's going to happen.
Okay. So let's play it out then. Let's say they somehow pull this off. They gut the young core. They get Kawhi. And they still have space for 2 max players. How does LeBron not come? How does Paul George not come?
Oh, yeah. See, I think that's a great point. I think if they're going to do this, they already know those guys are coming.
Yeah, I mean, and so as I was reading something interesting, most of these free agent deals are done back-channeled before July 1st starts. That's why all these deals are signed at 12:01 a.m. This, as far as we know, this could already be a done deal.
Yeah, I mean, from what we know, the Spurs haven't been informed that Kawhi wants out or anything like that. But, I mean, you're crazy if you think the Spurs haven't at least started exploring the possibility or have heard about, what they could get. Because teams are always doing that. They're always talking to each other and trying to see where they stand. But, yeah, I mean, you mentioned the 1201 thing. Like, Mitch Kupchak was known for being the Boy Scout, the guy who didn't make deals beforehand or anything like that. He didn't use those back channels much. I mean, the 1201 deal that he did make was Timofey Mozgov, and obviously that blew up in his face. But that's not Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka is the guy that's connected to everybody because he's an agent, or he was an agent, and the Lakers have been getting tampering fines and all this kind of stuff. You bet they are playing those back channels. So yeah, if this happens, I think they already know what's happening here.
I agree. So let me ask. So Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, correct me if I'm wrong, is agent's Rich Paul, correct?
Yes, he is.
Who's also happens to be LeBron James' agent. So Rob Pelinka talking to Rich Paul about KCP, that's legal, that's allowed. They're allowed to be meeting. They could be seen together in a restaurant. Once that conversation starts, who knows? Who knows where it goes?
Oh, exactly. And that was one of the benefits of signing KCP was that they could go after LeBron. Hey, calling up Rich Paul, say, hey, just want to talk about KCP, and he's doing great for us, and blah 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 blah. So let's talk about one of your other clients, right? As long as they kind of keep it quiet, they can do that. Right. And I should mention here this. I'm keeping refreshed here on Twitter. Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer just reported that the Sixers, Celtics, Lakers, and Clippers will be the 4 main teams pursuing Kawhi Leonard. Teams with top picks could always jump into the sweepstakes, but the risk would be significant considering Leonard has just one more season left on his contract, so he can threaten to not re-sign, obviously. But the Sixers, add them into the mix. That's scary.
The Sixers. It's so interesting. Let me ask you, though, just to back up for a second. How much stock do you put in the Gary Payton story that Bronny James has already been enrolled in school in LA? Do you put stock in that story of the kids?
Yeah, I actually do, and it's because we've now heard it from 2 separate sources. Scottie Pippen was on The Jump, and Rachel Nichols asked him flat out, said, hey, your kid plays for that school, and is he, is this real? And Scottie Pippen just said something to the effect of, it hasn't happened yet, or nothing is official yet.
Nothing's official.
He didn't say no, he couldn't deny it, which is the same as pretty much confirming it. So. Yeah, I think that's real too, and that's another piece to add to that puzzle where we feel like the wind is blowing this direction, and if this happens, the Lakers are right back in the title hunt next season. And I mean, should we just put a statue outside of Staples Center for Rob Pelinka already if this goes down?
I mean, maybe. So let me ask you. Let's play a dream scenario. Let's say the Lakers get Kawhi, they get LeBron James, and let's say Paul George, and not Chris Paul. Can that big 3? Can that beat Golden State?
I think they can. And here's why. I think that it depends on who they keep, right? Do they are they able to hang on to one of Lonzo, Kuzma, and Ingram? Can they hang on to one of those guys? But imagine if you can't hang on to any of them. All of them have kind of this versatile skill set. Imagine putting those 4 players on the floor together. Imagine putting, let's say it's Brandon Ingram. Put him out there with LeBron, with Paul George, with Kawhi. And think about teams trying to run pick and roll when you have those 4 guys on the floor that can switch anything and everything. That's insane. There's so much length on the floor. The buzzword has been positionless basketball. That is the most positionless team that's ever been constructed.
Yeah. So is Ingram's your point guard? Yeah. I think I guess that's your point guard, right?
Yeah. With that lineup, you can call it whatever you want. LeBron can handle the ball. Ingram can handle the ball. We know Paul George can do it a little bit. You may not even need a traditional point guard, or maybe you have Lonzo instead of Ingram, and then you run him as the point guard, or whatever it shakes out to be. But you're talking about an incredibly versatile lineup if you do that. And you have to think back to exit interviews. Brook Lopez already said he would come back at a discount if the Lakers were in a position to win a championship. So throw him into that mix. Could be amazing.
I feel like even saying it out loud is like cursing it. Like we shouldn't jinx it. Like we should only speak about it in hushed whispers. But it's palatable, it's possible, and there's a road for it to happen. Okay, so last question: would you rather have Paul George or Chris Paul? How about that as your third?
Paul George, definitely younger. Paul George has his own injury history, but younger. I think he's a perfect fit. Yeah, I'd go.
But there would be something sweet, I think, about Chris Paul finally being on the Lakers and that being where he wins his championship after the botched trade and all that.
Oh yeah. After the whole David Stern thing. Yeah, absolutely. The basketball reason, there would be some poetic justice to that. I'm definitely with you on that one.
But it's an exciting time to be an NBA fan, and even more exciting time if you're a long-suffering Laker fan.
Definitely. This is what makes the NBA so great. This blew up on Twitter, and now it seems like it's moving very, very quickly. And anything can happen here. We do want to be a little bit careful. I think you're right on that because, like we've said, this happened last year with Paul George. Paul George wanted to be a Laker, didn't happen. Maybe it'll happen this summer, but you never know what's going to go down. Who knows? The Sixers could throw a huge offer out there. The Celtics could. Heck, even the Clippers could, which would be painful. And who knows? Maybe you could make the argument that the Lakers are better off waiting till the summer of 2019 for Kawhi to be a free agent anyway, and then not having to give up assets to get him. So that's another argument you can make. But yeah, I mean, at this point, you have to be a little bit more optimistic than not, I suppose, but cautiously optimistic, because we don't want a bunch of heartbroken Lakers fans if it doesn't end up happening.
No, I'm cautious. Cautious is accurate.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. What do you think? Is this, if you were to put odds on it?
I don't want to say it. Because we're putting so much stock in Greg Popovich trading his start to the Lakers.
Right. Which that's a huge hurdle to overcome.
I mean, Popovich is up there with like Bill Belichick as far as like holding a little bit of grudges. So the Lakers would have to still blow them away with an offer. And I think that Leonard would have to tell every team, Sixers, Boston, all these teams that are competing in the East, I will not re-sign with you.
Right.
Unequivocally, yep. I will not re-sign. Then possible.
And even then, you might get some teams throwing out offers, hoping to convince him to stay after a year.
You might get the Kings. Phoenix might throw that number 1 pick. You don't know.
Right. And
Phoenix could take on Pau Gasol's salary too, I believe, without much contract wrangling. So it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. It's possible another team could hop in there. So, I mean, hey, all we can say right now is the NBA offseason is the best. Right?
Oh,
I mean, it's amazing. It's the best of all the pro sports leagues, and it's because of stuff like this, because suddenly Kawhi Leonard is on the block, and you've got all these different possibilities, and I mean, tons to talk about. So just enjoy it, right? I mean, people are going to be stressing out over this and whether or not he's coming, and then they're going to be disappointed if he doesn't, everything. Just enjoy all the rumors and enjoy what's happening right now, because this is going to be an amazing summer for Lakers fans. There's going to be more Lakers discussion right now than there is during the season, which is amazing.
It is one of the greatest times to be a Laker fan, and I just hope Spectrum Sportsnet comes to more cable providers. I'm just throwing that out there.
Let's put that out in the universe.
But man, it is a fun time, and thank you for having me back on. I always love being on here.
No problem, John. Thank you for making time. And again, guys, this is John Redinger of Techno Buffalo. Make sure you guys go check out technobuffalo.com for all the latest news on all different kinds of stuff. In fact, John, do you want to talk real quick about what you do there? I think some people don't know that.
Yes, so I mean, sports is my passion. Tech is my job. So if you're any of interested in consumer electronics, phones, laptops, tablets, don't know what to get, check us out at technobuffalo.com. Got a YouTube channel, about 1.5 million subscribers. We love tech. I love tech, and I bleed purple and gold. My Twitter handle is John4Lakers to show how far my love for the purple and gold go.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John. Exciting day, and can't wait to see where this story goes.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up. Make sure for all the latest, you head over to LakersNation.com.